Welcome back. Today is another Monday. If you're following along, you might have noticed that a week or two has skipped between the last video and this one. Filming that introduction video that I used to start the whole series off with turned out to be a huge endeavor, but I learned a lot about setting up shots, planning the shots, writing not a screenplay, but organizing myself a little bit more, adding structure, if you like. That meant that I ended up taking like 2 weeks off of filming, so I'm making up for it now. That said, we're still ahead of schedule, so hopefully things go well. The first time that I've ever been up this trail was this past winter on skis, and it was late season. Snow was melty, gone in some patches, although there were still some kind of motorsports going on to my left. I ran into only one other skier, and he was just as shocked as I was to see me. I'm going up to investigate a possible connection to Driveway Butte, which is this peak that you can't see through the trees to my right. See, you can't see it. When you're brand new to a field, you probably spend most of your mental energy on triage. Assessing what is the most important stuff that you need to be worried about is kind of, some people say it's a skill. I think it's just a byproduct of work. To the extent that there is any skill, it's only activated by work, a lot of work. Do you see this? Look at this. First I thought it was like a drainage, but now I look at it and I realize it's a mountain bike trail. But look at that. That drops straight down to the road. And this is the precise moment when I realized that you mountain bikers probably come down from the top of Driveway Butte. That's amazing. That's amazing. When I first switched my major to physics as an undergraduate, I remember being so excited that I ended up taking like 26 credit hours, which was stupid. But at the same time, it really set me up to learn a lot. But I had trouble with triage. I didn't know what I was supposed to be taking in, what to be taking seriously. I was so bad at triage that at one point, I literally copied the font type, my professor's handwriting, for the coefficients called R and T for reflection and transmission through a potential barrier. This was quantum mechanics. I didn't know what was important. I had never seen anything like any of this before. That's just what you deal with when you don't know what's important, when you don't know, everything is brand new and wide open. You want to make sure that you don't miss anything. But this gets back to that whole concept of what is science for and what is the actual process of science? How does science work? Not, connecting dots instead of collecting dots. You have to have that experience to know that the names of the coefficients, the font that you use, the handwriting doesn't matter. What matters is what's happening. You can come up with your own explanation, your own models, but that takes practice, that takes effort, and that's why it's such a hard thing to explain to people. There was this program for a while called Math for America that was kind of like Teach for America, only for people in technical fields, hoping that we can bring some expertise, some practical expertise from people that are actually doing scientific research to kids in schools. Don't know how that turned out, but I think that's close to the right idea. You see, part of the problem with having these academic institutions that immediately push you down a path, like as soon as you get to grad school, it seems like, oh, you are either classified as a really good student, so you're going into research, or a really mediocre student, so you're going to go into a teaching track, with industry being the big kind of boogeyman in the closet. I know that it comes from some semblance of identity politics surrounded by like a job market that just doesn't exist, but these are structural problems. And I know we've got a horrendous amount of like race-based structural problems that we have to deal with as well, and I totally get that. Gender-based structural problems, race-based structural problems, there's a whole bunch of trouble, and those are even somehow more systematic and more problematic. In the academy today, the way the whole system is set up, I fear, is doing a disservice to communicating science, the process of science, what science is, how science works, and why people should be, if not participating in it, should be at least aware of it, because it affects everybody. These are all related issues. I'm not trying to be down or begrudge any people or group of folks. I just kind of want to show by example of how we need to be better about communicating how science works. So that's the theme for the week. That and heat training, apparently. See you tomorrow.